What's up, Nedheads, and welcome back to another episode of the Ned's Declassified podcast. As always, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Kirk.
Yeah, and today we watched the Notebook/Math ep of Season 2.
Yep, this is
which
the fourth episode.
I liked a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Fourth ep. Yeah, I was laughing a good amount. This was especially, I would say, the second half, the math part I liked a lot. But yeah, it was funny. It was good stuff. What have you been up to? Anything fun, Kirk? Any housekeeping for the fans?
Fun housekeeping. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, I've been putting out music and stuff still on the Bandcamp.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we'll have to drop a link in the description.
You can do kirkgates.bandcamp.com and get there. It's pretty easy, but besides that, working, cooking a lot,
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
In a few days, me and Abby are going to be moving apartments again. So, hopefully we have this episode come out on time.
Right.
But yeah, we'll be moving in a couple of days, and we're helping Will move tomorrow.
Crazy.
So yeah, a lot of Harbor boys are moving around. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on. So let's dive right into the notebooks part of the episode.
Well, one thing before we get into the specifics of this episode itself, on Amazon, if you buy this season,
it's fucked.
Did we check it for season 1?
I went back and checked it today after we were looking at it.
How did it look?
It was all correct.
Okay,
only
so season 1's all correct.
I didn't check season 3, but
season 2, after the first couple of episodes, after episodes, so 1, 2, 3, 4 are correct with the air date, okay? Because it goes October 1, October 8, October 15, 22. Then, all of a sudden, episode 5 on Amazon, season 2, February 11, 2006. Then, the next episode, November 11, 2005. Then the next episode, November 5th, 2005. November 19th, then January, February, March, April, March, May, April, May. It's all over the place, people.
Yeah, it's very fucked. I will say that I believe it still has all the episodes, but you got to be careful on the order that you're watching in.
Yep.
Yeah, luckily we caught it today.
Exactly.
I was just it struck me as weird when I first saw it. And I was like, oh, it's a mid-season break. And then I remembered we were only 3 episodes into season 2. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense to have a mid-season break there.
No, and the Harbor Boys ethos is to go by air date.
Yes, we go by air date, referring back to Drake and Josh, where we stubbornly went by air date. And we watched Really Big Shrimp before the last 2 episodes.
It was a good watch. I'm glad I was able to see that.
Yeah, which I'm happy that we did it that way, but also at the same time, I'd recommend people not doing it that way. Save Really Big Shrimp for the final.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, actually, save it for the final of the series, but then also watch the Christmas movie afterwards, which is worth a watch.
Okay.
I didn't think it was worth a watch before I'd seen it, just remembering from my childhood, but. After watching it was
if I've
decent.
seen
Better
it
than Go Hollywood.
Oh, okay, interesting. If I've seen the Christmas one, I do not remember dick shit about it.
That's why it's worth the rewatch for sure. It's funny. It's pretty good. It's very ridiculous. Really, the first 20, 25 minutes of it are really funny. The middle is kind of trash, but
oh, okay.
But what can you do?
How many minutes is it in total?
It's a full length
hour and a half
feature, I think. Yeah, I think it was I think it was a little bit shorter, but yeah, I mean, it was full length.
All right. I mean, sure. So now we can get into the episode. Begins with it's a Sweeney classroom. He is talking about the history, and I mean he's talking about people, dudes, shit. He's talking about history. He's giving a history lesson about the history of the periodic table. He's talking about Mendeleev. He's a Russian guy. He's the father of the periodic table.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why does this fucking matter? How about, like, it's one thing if it's like, all right, you have to memorize the table of the elements, blah, blah, blah. Here's what the numbers mean, you know, in relation to...
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I feel like that's like a classic thing in middle and high school, though, is where they give you
fair.
like a lot of facts and they just... It seems like they just like shoot out a bunch of facts and hope that you retain some of them, you know?
Yeah, and if they put you...
They're like it could come in handy.
And if they give you a multiple choice test and they give you like two of the answers are like completely just off the wall, fucking out of bounds, ridiculous.
Yes.
You know, and then two of the answers are plausible, and you just have to guess the right one.
Yeah. In my experience, you guess the longer of the answers.
Okay.
That's what I learned from AP.
That became your strategy
when I had AP US
technique.
history. That became my strategy. When I didn't know what on earth it was, I just went with the longest answer.
In history, that makes sense. But what about in science? Science is tougher.
Science is tougher because it's more, there'd be more like numbers or just like one-word answers.
Well, he's talking about chemistry. That's math.
Yeah, exactly. Numbers. That's the first part of what I said.
There you go. We find out there's a golden notebook. This is a notebook that Sam Golden, apparently, we're told.
Yeah.
By Sweeney. Sweeney tells us. He's an old student of his, I guess.
Yeah, dumb fake name. Find
Sam
out
Golden.
later, but
yeah. Great name.
yeah. Also in the beginning, we see a sketch of the Crimson Chin in Ned's notebook.
Yeah, that's a fun Easter
Another
egg.
Fairly Odd Parents crossover.
It's Ned's favorite fucking show.
Apparently it is, which is interesting. It makes it look like Nickelodeon thought they needed more crossover with Fairly Odd Parents, and they were like, you know what, SpongeBob's fine. They don't need a crossover shit with SpongeBob. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because, I mean,
like,
it is up to Nickelodeon.
they weren't trying to grab audience.
I don't know if it goes down to, like, the production company within Nickelodeon that shares it, because that's why they have all the shared actors and stuff, but, like, it's really just the one guy, right? What's his name? Gordy.
Oh yeah, as the shared actor, yeah, it's just him. I don't know what
Okay.
the actual actor's name, which is a shame. I should know his name.
So
We
I
really
wonder.
gotta learn his name.
So, like, is that a Nickelodeon's like executive, like high up position? It's like, we're gonna have crossovers, and we're gonna have the Fairly
I don't
Odd Parents
know.
crossover
I
with the
wonder.
Neds, and
I
fuck
wonder
people's
who is in
days up.
charge of that decision.
We're gonna blow people's minds.
I wonder. It did blow my mind, but yeah, I wonder who actually is like, man, we should really throw in an Easter egg, or if it's just like the production team is like this.
In this episode, it was a straight Easter egg.
Yes, the last one was a full crossover.
I didn't even
when
see
they were
it.
in the app.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. You
Yeah,
pointed
you
it
were
out,
taking notes,
and it was
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
by the
yeah.
time I looked up.
And keep in mind, this was a perfect sketch of the Crimson Chin. So
Wow.
for Ned to have drawn it, in my mind, makes no
They
sense.
had Butch Hartman
unless he's
come in
a
and
very
draw it
good-
himself.
I think Butch did. I think Butch came on out to the lot and drew it.
Or they shipped him the table. He drew it on it, and then he shipped the table back to the lot
No, not the table. It was in the notebook.
or whatever.
It was
The
in-
notebook.
It was in.
Oh, easier. That's easier. That's easier to ship.
Yeah, way easier. Yeah, yeah. He wasn't drawing on his desk, although that was a thing. Did you ever draw on your desks in school? I assume you did.
Yeah, every now and then, you know,
I
you
definitely
draw stuff
did.
and then you rub it and it goes and it kind of goes away, it smudges out, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Depending on, well, actually, most of the desks were pretty glossy, so yeah, it pretty much happened on all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They're
used
very
to draw
easy
on
to
my
clean.
desks all the time. Always in pencil though, not in pen. I'm not an asshole.
Yeah, I would do
You know.
mostly pencil, pen and maybe sometimes in textbooks.
Yeah, but textbooks, that's your property at that point.
Especially in public school.
Yeah, public school. That's like tradition, passing it on to the next generation. It was always nice when you got a textbook that had like a name in it of a person that you knew. You were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, like fucking
That did
Kevin
happen.
had this from a couple of years ago.
That
Yeah, it
did
happens
happen every now.
sometimes. Yeah. I remember one time, I don't know if I ever told this on the pod, but when I was the TA for the in-school suspension lady, we were in charge of like dealing out textbooks to a couple of the classes. So like we had to go to the library and sit in like their huge like storage room that was just full of textbooks.
And like pass them out to people.
Yeah, we were passing them out. We were like orderlies, like handing them out to people as they were signing them out. It was a bizarre system. I don't know how we were in charge of it, but you know, that's what happened. She like tagged along the rest of the in-school suspension kids and then like the couple of TAs that she had. Bless you.
Excuse me.
But yeah, it was a weird.
I bet that was fun.
It was a good time. I mean, honestly, anything to get me out of that room, just sitting there and quiet.
You gotta go to the library. It's different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I didn't go to the library very many times in high school. It was kind of a useless part of the school, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have done without it.
I went there a few times.
What was it even there for?
Usually it was like when the teacher says, "All right, class, we're going to have class in the library today so we can work on our assignments and get some sources." You know, so you just meet in the library that day, or you meet in class and then you fucking walk over to the library, eating up all the time. Then you're in the library for fucking 15 minutes, walking around, looking for some shit, you know, to write about.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of wasted time. But I feel like some of the teachers did it also to make sure that kids went and like got books if that was like part of the assignment. They were like, listen, don't fucking just use the internet. Go get a book. And we were like, no way, Jose.
It takes away the excuse of not, like, being able to go to a library.
Yeah, even though, like, you know, I mean, I don't know. Kids will come up with all sorts of excuses. I know I did. But yeah, back
Ned
to the
wants
app.
to steal the golden notebook. He wants to plan a heist.
He wants it bad. He wants it damn bad. And
he thinks it's going to solve all his problems because he's, you know, he's a fool.
Gordy's gung-ho. He's like, I'll help you. I'll fucking be in the ventilation shaft and help you go down like a ninja.
We're going to fucking rob this motherfucker.
Yeah, they don't go through the front door just because Gordy thinks it's more fun.
Well, yeah, they find out. Like, so basically, it's like Mission Impossible. Ned is strapped from the ceiling. Gordy is lowering him on a rope down from the ceiling, and then Coconut Head. No, it's not Coconut Head. It's Quirly walks in the room. He just walks in the door because the door's open. Ned's like the door. You know, shit. He just pauses, and then Quirly just sees him right away. He's like, "Sup, Ned?" And then Ned's like, "What the hell, Gordy? You didn't. The door's freaking unlocked." And then, yeah, like you said, he said it's more fun this way. We get to be stealthy.
Yeah, he's like, "Gordy, you fucking screw up, you piece of shit asshole.
You clown."
And Gordy just shrugs.
You cartoon fuck.
And then he starts swinging Ned around, fucking
that part
insanely.
Was funny.
He's like. He's breaking bottles. He's breaking beakers. His foot like barely tapped one of the beakers, and it just shattered.
Yeah, everything was exploding. Glass was everywhere. That was good physical comedy.
It was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Gordy said, "I'll let the night guy get it."
Notebook. Yeah, he did the classic joke. And they were able to get the notebook out of the cabinet and replace it with a fake golden notebook. Before Sweeney was able to come back. But Sweeney does come back right when he gets lifted up and notices the room absolutely destroyed. They like, kick over a cabinet and shit and everything. Also, the other plot line of this ep is Cook is recording everything.
Yes.
He's gone full analog, by the way, not even full digital. He's recording this on fucking tapes.
Like full-size VHS.
Yeah, not even mini tapes. What is he thinking?
I don't know what kind of thing he's having, what kind of device he has even that can record onto a regular full-size VHS tape. Yeah, I don't even know if that's a thing.
I don't 100% know.
It was always like a mini VHS tape or some shit, right? I don't know.
Maybe it seems like it was always mini tapes.
If you could record, if you could record straight onto a VHS tape, that is fucking badass, and I want that right now. I want one.
That would be sick. Honestly, it would be cool to get a camcorder, especially like later in life, like with a family and stuff, and like record like old school style like home videos. You know, you just have them on tape. I feel like that'd be sweet.
Yeah, you just gotta. You can also keep a digital copy. You gotta transfer it. You just gotta make sure you do that right away.
You try to find one of those shops where they do VHS conversion.
It's probably just easy to do it yourself.
No, you got to support the local business, man.
You think that still is done by places professionally?
I think you could find a guy for sure.
You want the special?
He's like, yeah, I'll transfer it. But I'm gonna record a version for myself too.
I'm keeping files.
Oh.
You understand?
Oh, okay. He's got a ponytail, but he's bald on top. It's
I'm
like
part of the VHS resistance, brother.
The VHS guild. But yeah, he's recording it, and he's got like a whole bunch of extension cords, and he's got like a early 2000s webcam on his ear.
Yeah, he's got surge protectors.
Even though
himself.
Even though I'm pretty sure his like don't his glasses record anyway? I thought he like was able to record already with them. Maybe I'm making up that power. Maybe I don't know.
He can't do like mass recording like he's gonna do.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes they throw out his like supercomputer abilities.
That thing records.
Now he's jumped back.
He's got like a 2 megabyte like mini little card thing up in there. That's all that can record digitally.
He's got like a PS2 memory card plugged into it.
No, well, how big is that? I wonder.
How many megs it had? I don't think they're very big, but it probably had more than 2.
Yeah, for sure.
It was probably like 500 megabytes or something, those old memory cards. I don't know, though. I'm honestly guessing. Yeah, so what... oh, right. Mose finds like the diary. Notebook or diary type thing, yeah, where it's like talking about everybody in school and talking about how fucking trash they are.
Yeah.
Which reminded me a lot of the Burn book from Mean Girls, and I looked up what came out first. Mean Girls came out first the year before, actually. Mean Girls came out in 2004, and this came out in October of 2005, so it was a little over a year difference in the production. I wonder if they like took some notes from Mean Girls, or if this was completely separate, because it seems like very similar with like a Notebook just talking shit about people.
That's a good question. I wonder if they took cues from that. I don't know. But what the Notebook says is My Innermost Thoughts by S.C. The initials S.
Yeah, S.C.
C. Who could that be? Maybe it's Susie Crabgrass. Maybe.
I can't believe it.
Yep, Mose finds it. She's kind of showing it around to people because she's reading it. She decides to read it ultimately. She's kind of deciding, is it the right thing or the wrong thing to read it? Fuck it. So she reads it.
Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck.
Everybody in the circle of people that we know almost gets trashed in this notebook in one way.
Gets trashed hard, including Mose and Susie eventually.
Yep, ruling her out of the suspect of people of whose possession the notebook may originally have been.
Yes. But I will say that is also a thing in Mean Girls, where in the Burn book, the people who made it, or the one girl, the lead girl, I don't fucking remember what her name is, but she wrote a thing in there about herself to basically mask the fact that she wrote it. to count her out as a suspect. So it could still be Susie in the end. We don't know.
Was it was it a bad like an awful horrible thing that she said about herself?
I feel like it wasn't that bad. I mean, I don't remember what exactly it was, but I mean, none of the things were bad, except for like there was some defamation where it was like talking about how Lisa was like a thief. That's some defamation.
Oh, no. I mean in Mean Girls.
Oh, in Mean Girls, yeah. It says like she's like a fugly bitch or something like that.
Okay. Something vague like that. Something vague like that, though.
Yeah, it was some like just mean thing.
Okay.
That's a great movie, though, by the way. Big recommend.
No, I know.
Mean
Yeah,
Girls.
I've seen it, but it's been a fucking long time since I've seen it.
You know, for the people out there, I assume everybody has seen it, honestly, at this point. But if you haven't, you should watch it.
Yeah. I don't know about the second one.
Haven't seen the second one. I think Abby also recommends the musical, so go see that too if you're into musicals.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, I don't know.
Eventually, Cookie comes to the point where he's got a cardboard cutout made of himself, and he's just got his video apparatus hooked up on the cardboard cutout, and he's just recording. So he's out doing other shit while this is just taping his lectures.
Where do you think he went?
Well, one of the things we see him do is he's outside catching butterflies or some shit, just dicking around.
Yeah. Why didn't he just full on leave school campus?
I don't think he has the balls.
But he had the balls to not go to class? What's even the point at that point?
Well, I mean, how is the teacher not realize this is a freaking cardboard cutout of a human, not a real human being?
Well, you know, these teachers are dumb.
I guess so.
They
do the gag where there's so much stuff in a locker because Cookie's storing the VHS tapes in his locker. He opens his locker.
Yeah, that was a good gag.
VHS tapes.
What was it
pour
before?
Out. What was it before? It was something with Mose, wasn't it, or was it with Ned?
I don't know. It was something. It was. I mean, both times it's been very funny.
Yeah.
Also, we get some notes. Some notes on notes. Or tips, I should say. It says to take notes in every class, write neatly, write down what the teacher says, especially when they say it twice.
Underline.
And duplicate notes. It helps you retain info. So, like transferring your notes.
Keep a second notebook. Keep a second notebook like a psychopath.
I kind of understand that sentiment of writing down notes helps you retain the knowledge, but I don't think I would ever write it down a second time. I feel like just writing it down that first time is enough, for me at least.
For me, but I mean, like,
I'm not gonna write it down a second time.
At the same time,
that's crazy.
You and I both. I mean, what is the most crazy subjects we've taken? Nothing that crazy.
No, nothing that crazy. I mean, we did not study scientific or mathematical things in the slightest. I mean, you did some in college, and then you threw that to the side and went back to the arts.
Well, I have a bachelor in science, so fuck you.
So do I. But I do tell people I'm a scientist because of that.
As you should, as you are.
I don't know how it's not a bachelor in arts, honestly. I don't know how. But whatever. Yeah, so Cook didn't watch. That's true. But Cook didn't watch a goddamn tape. Not a single one. And he's fucked because he's got a quiz or whatever.
The major's telecommunication, by the way. That we're talking about.
In the journalism college.
The college of
I think everybody knows at this point. I feel like we've said it.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, he hasn't done a goddamn thing.
No.
But Ned gets an A on his fucking quiz because he stole the thing, and Sweeney knew he was gonna steal it, and told him that story just so he would steal it, which in the end is promoting theft, in my opinion.
It's a very strange story because it's like, on one hand, it's like a heartwarming story because when in the vents, and we didn't mention this earlier, in the vents, Gordy offers Ned a caramel apple covered in nuts, dipped in nuts, like an apple coated in caramel,
Yummy.
Dipped in nuts.
Yeah.
And then after this, when Sweeney reveals to Ned that Ned has actually done pretty well on his test because Sweeney tricked him into studying the Golden Notebook, which is really just a regular notebook that he just studied. Then Sweeney offers to him that same sweet treat. An apple dipped in caramel, dipped then in, I assume, crunched nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
So Sweeney, this is the friendliest we've ever seen Sweeney be. especially to Ned.
Yeah, this episode he was very friendly.
Very out of character.
Usually he's trying to foil Ned.
Perhaps bipolar.
That I can't say. I'm no psychologist or
speculating.
Or but it is weird, and the ending sentiment is strange.
Yeah, so the story basically he teaches Ned to steal.
Yes, and that it was right, and that is something that sometimes he has to do for students. Okay, whatever, Sweeney.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically the ep.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, because to wrap.
Oh
up,
no! Well, so basically they throw the notebook out. They're like, "Fuck this fucking stupid notebook," and then we see this chick that we'd never seen before that looks like she's in college, comes and finds and picks the notebook out. She's like, "My notebook!" Oh, so I assumed that was like some other random person whose initials are SC, obviously.
Maybe. And the reason they find out that it is not a notebook that somebody there wrote was because it talks about things that happened 10 years ago, and all the names that it mentions are very generic names, like Jennifer, Susie.
Oh,
Billy,
wait. Hold on. I missed the thing about 10 years ago.
Yeah. So the thing that it said was, it said, like, I can't believe the Wolves volleyball team won the playoffs or something like that. And then Susie's like, they haven't won the playoffs in 10 years. And they're like, oh, fuck.
Wait, who the fuck was that person then? Why the fuck was she at the school? Why did you get that at the trash at the school?
Well, see, the notebook was from behind a filing cabinet, so it's probably just been sitting there for 10 years.
Is she an employee? So she works now at the school?
What are you talking about?
Who found the notebook? Someone found the notebook and claimed it as theirs, right? At the end?
Jennifer did originally.
No, at the end of the episode.
What are you talking about at the end?
Didn't someone at the end of the episode take it out of the trash and say, "Oh, I found my notebook"?
Yes. No, she didn't say I found my notebook.
Oh. Fuck. What did she say?
I don't know if she said anything, did she?
She just said, "Oh, look, a notebook."
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I understood that fucking whole part apparently, but
you were taking a lot of notes.
I was taking a lot of notes. I always take a lot of notes, but sometimes to the detriment of my comprehension.
But yeah, so what are you giving this ep out of 10 weasels?
I'm gonna give it 7.
Right on.
Where you at?
I think I'd give this ep a solid 8 out of 10 weasels.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I liked it. They were able to do a lot with just notebooks as a subject.
That's true.
They were able to do some interesting stuff. But yeah, on to the next half of the episode entitled Math.
Yes. I will say I don't remember almost anything about this whole pair of episodes. I don't remember having watched this.
I didn't either. Not very much, at least.
Right,
I mean, I remember like the intro of like the communist Soviet Russian math teacher.
True.
Who comes later, or maybe East German. Not 100% sure on her roots.
No. Yeah.
But yeah. So it starts off with like them talking about math and like word problems, and like the bullies run up asking about eggs, and they we find out basically that Ned doesn't care for math. Mose likes math, but she's about to get into a new one, and so is Cook, who's also likes math. He's going to an 8th grade math class. I don't know what she's doing.
She's doing algebra.
Is she actually does she go to a new math class, or is it just a new, like, what's happening? Because I feel like she's had that teacher before.
That's a really good question, and I don't know, but it's
Is algebra. It just a new chapter of the textbook that she's not good at or something?
I don't know. Maybe this is where they introduce algebra in the curriculum. But
I feel like when you introduce algebra, though, that's a full new class entitled algebra.
For sure.
You know?
I thought that's what it was supposed to be, though. But maybe that's not the case.
Interesting.
It would make sense. Like you said, it's not a new school year or a new semester.
It's not. And the only one that actually says they're going to an 8th grade math class that I remember was Cook.
At this point, it's like
that's why it's shown as so weird.
It's like several weeks into the semester.
Yeah, which is also a strange thing, because like, how much are you going to be able to get out of this? Also, both these math classes seem like they're just starting now, so how the fuck does that work?
I don't know, man. That shit's
whatever.
That shit's loose.
But yeah, so we start out with some egg math, and they find out they have 3 extra eggs.
If I have 42 eggs and I want to egg fucking Sam, Elvira, and some other person, how many eggs do I got to do? And then Cookie does the math, and he's like, if you throw 9 eggs at each of them, then you have 3 eggs left over, like you said. Then they walk away, and then they realize 3 eggs left over. They throw 1 egg each. Well, 1 bully each throws 1 egg at Ned's back. They only throw them at Ned, though. They don't throw any eggs at Cook and Mose this time.
Well, yeah, they clown Ned as per usual.
He gets wrecked.
Luckily, he has his classic Ned look where he's got the button down over like a long sleeve, so he's able to just ditch the button down.
Plus, we know that he has at least 1 or 2
a semi-clean long sleeve.
Exactly, and he's got 1 or 2 extra shirts for sure because he's just so prepared. He's a Boy Scout.
Well, he better because that was a previous tip. So if he doesn't have it, he's not following his own tips, and then we get to call him out.
Yeah, then we get to, we get to fucking, I don't know what you're doing. Ned starts
the next
a study
part that
group.
comes up is. Yeah, with the Oboe twins and the nerd guy. I don't have his name down. Do you have the name?
I believe it's something like Albert Wormenheimer.
It's something like that, yeah. And it is the same guy, I looked this up, as who he played Jerry in the Drew and Jerry episode of Drake and Josh. He hasn't done much else. He was in a short-lived show also in the early 2000s with Jason Alexander about sports. But yeah, not a whole lot else. But I noticed when he started like up pitching his voice and like talking really quickly, it was very similar to like the way Josh does it in Drake and Josh. And I was like, holy shit, that's the guy.
Yeah, he was very much aping Josh's mannerisms.
He was,
For
yeah.
sure.
He was still doing it in this show, which is interesting because it's not the same creators. So you'd think they would have tried to put some sort of kibosh on it, but you know.
But he had these ridiculous glasses on. These, I don't know what you'd call them. They're like hyper, super magnifying, like silly, goofy.
Yeah, I mean they were like the nerd glasses that you'd pick up at like Party City or like fucking Spirit Halloween, you know?
Yeah. He starts to
shout out Spirit Halloween.
True. I wonder how they're doing right now.
I think they're probably doing fine. They always come back.
They always come back. It's like a flower. It's like a phoenix.
It's like a weed.
Yeah, a perennial. Or an annual. I don't know what happens with the Oboe twins and Ned at first. Does anything, like, he's like, hey guys, you want us to have a group and like, you know, maybe have like some sort of study group?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't 100% know how Ned was able to
maybe we
like
can do some like
mind game
things.
them. It's possible that he said something like that. Like was
Ned tries to start some sort of sex cult.
Those are Ned's college years. It's too bad they never brought Ned back and did like a teen version of the show on like Teen Nick. That could have been classic.
True, they have to deal with the real shit. Crazy shit happens.
Yeah, it would have been like fucking Undeclared, but with Ned and with tips.
Someone shoots the school up in one episode. Who would do that?
Oh fuck!
Which character?
That's classic.
Which character do you think would do that?
I think that would have ended up being maybe Martin Corley.
Yeah.
If I were to have to guess, you know.
That's where my brain went to, but I don't know
maybe
why.
the skinhead kid. Maybe the skinhead kid.
True, but I feel like he's a gentle giant.
That is definitely possible. Also, this episode,
comment
Gordy,
who you think would be the one, but go on.
Is that what we want them to comment? What I was gonna say is that Gordy is divulging this whole time into slowly becoming a caveman.
Yes.
As he's trying to hunt the weasel this episode. He's continually knocking himself out, not doing the math right. And he's physically and mentally becoming a caveman.
Yeah, he's very much damaging his brain and his body permanently. Or maybe not permanently. I guess we'll find out next time we see him in an episode whether or not he's a caveman still.
Probably not permanently.
Probably not. The final thing that makes him into a caveman is he's on roller skates, and he's like Wile E. Coyote. They have rockets on him, and he ignites the rockets, and it just explodes him, and he's left charred, but also looking like a caveman, like a charred caveman.
And he also falls into mud at the end, which ties into the cookie timeline.
Oh, that wasn't just shit?
See, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's mud because of the callback, but it did look like wet shit. But yeah, so Mose is suffering this episode from math anxiety, is what they call it. She's very itchy. And she does not understand algebra at all. She can't take it. The board is fucking like moving behind it, which is like a very classic like thing to do in a TV show. They did it in that 70s show. It's such a cool, like, what do you even call it? Like
visual gag.
Yeah, visual, I guess, visual gag. It looks
visual
so
expression
cool when the background moves
of someone's dismay.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. In that 70s show, they use it when the person is high and they're being confronted by the parents in the kitchen. But in this situation, it's a little bit different, but also pretty cool. Yeah, so...
well, Mose...
Also...
so the math teacher is that...
yes.
That substitute teacher that Mose had helped last season.
Yeah, the dude who
the Asian guy.
He's always getting spitballs shot at him.
Yes.
Which is fucked.
But I thought he won over the love of the class.
Apparently not, because remember in the beginning he was still getting the spitballs.
No, I know, but eventually at a certain point it became people got excited, right? What was happening there?
Well, they got excited when it became the algebra class, but before that, Spitball Central.
So it's like a new sub-math class inside the math class begins today, algebra class.
I'm not 100% sure. I just watched this episode.
Yeah.
And I have no idea. It's foggy for me. It's foggy for sure.
Yeah, but as soon as he draws on the board, he draws an equation. It's like x squared plus b squared equals c squared. Mose is like, there's no numbers. Huh? What? That was pretty funny.
Yeah, she's like, letters, the fuck?
Yep, because it's algebra.
Yeah, even though I feel like starter algebra is, like, pretty easy. So, like, I'm surprised that she's having trouble with it if she's supposedly good at math.
Right. She'll figure it out.
Cause
just different.
Because I mean, really, it's just like a letter replacing a number. Like it's I don't know. it shouldn't be that hard for her.
That's what you think.
Yeah. So
for Cookie,
we also see Cookie's Cookie's math class where it's very drab, very dark, very very gray.
Yeah, he opens the door. He opens the door. And
yeah,
it's like
the teacher in there. Yeah, she doesn't like any fun. She doesn't like anything that's happy. She's strictly math.
She speaks with Eastern European Russian accent.
Yeah, she always says, without math, we are caveman eating mud.
Mud.
That's like her catchphrase.
Yeah, she's a Russian rationalist, communist. Everyone must wear...
Definitely communist,
everyone must wear schmuck.
Yeah, this episode definitely was anti-com. There's some undertones, you know. Maybe there I don't remember. I was a kid, but what?
It's like 1984. That's why she puts her. That's why she puts her face on the screen real big.
Was there another Red Scare happening in the early 2000s?
No. With who? North Korea? No.
China, maybe.
No. That's when they were. That's when North Korea. That was peak make fun of North Korea years.
I think wasn't that also peak China on the rise years?
Nah, that's always been happening. That's been steady since the 70s.
I'm just thinking of the episode of The Office where like Michael reads like a Time magazine and it says like China's like #1 now or something, and he's like shook as fuck about it. But that shout out The Office, but I don't remember. I was a kid. I wasn't paying attention to the news in the early 2000s. But we also get to see Cook as a like song and dance showman with like a sparkly suit, because Ned gives him a tip that's like, he's like, try to spice up your math.
It was about word
problems.
Yep, word problems.
Yeah. He's like, replace the words with like happy, silly words. For some reason that makes the math easier. Spoiler alert, it won't. That's dumb.
Yeah, Ned, wrong, bad tip, you stupid motherfucker.
Or was that Mose that gave him that tip? It might have been Mose.
Oh, it was Mose. It was Mose.
Because doesn't...
No, you're right. It was
yeah,
Mose.
Right? Because he comes over and he's like, I have a math question, and Ned shoos him away.
You freaking silly person.
But yeah, so he does like a little song, but the teacher puts the kibosh on it, and now everybody's wearing smocks.
The word problem on the board is like, a laborer is mixing cyanide, potassium, and chlorine.
I love that it's just a laborer.
A laborer, yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, it's very communist.
Because Cookie was trying to change it to be like about something more fun, and she's like, "No, it's about a fucking laborer." Like that part is important to her.
Yeah, she was pissed. She didn't.
The part
want
that shouldn't matter in the math class is more important to her.
Yeah. Well, she's trying to shove an ideology down these kids' throat. In order to brainwash them into becoming communist soldiers.
True, she should become a college professor instead. Pooch. Okay.
Classic.
Yeah, I wrote down Cook is in the math gulag.
The math gulag.
And they all have the Mao outfits, the smocks.
Yeah, the dope Mao outfits. It's with like the mini barely collar and like the pure gray button-down suit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the tips that he gives out, does Ned give these tips? I'm not 100% sure. I just wrote tip.
I don't know,
it's to be positive and to make sure you ask a lot of questions. That's right when you're starting to feel lost.
No, that's Ned. That's Ned.
Yeah, and that cures Mose. She's able to understand what's happening. Apparently, all she had to do was ask a question. I don't know why she didn't ask a question to begin with. Mose, you're a smart girl. Why are you not just doing these things on your own? You don't need Ned. He's an idiot.
Mose, how many questions have you asked in your life? Fucking lot of them.
That's a good question.
Fucking lot of them, Mose. Ask a couple more.
Also, during this whole episode, Ned has a falling out with the math study group because he comes up with like a signal to give each other when they need help.
Yes.
And one of the kids does it, and Ned does not respond. Well, he does respond, but he gives him the wrong answer.
Because he's dumb.
So they have a falling out.
He's an idiot. Ned is clearly the weakest link in the...
he's mooching off of them.
In the circle here that he's created for himself. Because he is a moocher, and he's created a situation where he is clearly the beneficiary, or he's gaining from their work.
Yeah, but he is able to eventually get into their good graces again at the very end of the episode.
That's just because they don't have any other friends.
Like doing like one day of homework or some dumb shit like that. Like barely anything.
They're just desperate to hang out.
So nothing that like legitimately
freaking losers.
I mean, homework in school was not graded. Teachers usually just like, at least with math,
sometimes it is.
Teachers would just like check to see if you did it. They were like, all right, they did it. They did the math homework.
Sometimes they grade that.
Good
shit,
to go.
Bro.
I don't remember my math teachers ever like going through my homework and grading it. I remember them checking to see if I did every single question I needed to do, but like, I don't remember them actually grading it. That's in my experience. Right. I don't know about you.
All right.
What do you think?
Did
you have that?
I feel like I've been graded on homework for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Damn. Okay.
In my life, I think that has happened. Maybe not every time, but I think definitely it's happened.
Well, I know on homework, like in general, but on math homework, like in
homework.
Middle school and high school?
Yeah.
Interesting. They would give you a percentage. They would give you like an A or a B or like a C or something like that?
Yeah, it would usually be at a number percentage.
Interesting. That seems wild to me. That sounds like a quiz.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But yeah, so Cookie's math teacher ends up lightening up at the end, and she lets them have like a dance party.
What makes her lighten
up?
The
only food that she brings out is 6 mini cupcakes and 1 hot dog for the entire class.
Yeah, that was great.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
What exactly makes her lighten up?
I'm not 100% sure. I think it was Cookie's upbeat attitude. You know?
She's like, we don't have to be so sour all the time, you are saying?
We don't have to be so communist. But that is basically the app.
Yeah, Gordy turns into a caveman, that's the app.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was very good. I think I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a great app.
That's big shit right there. That's a big number. It's the best number so
dude.
far for sure, right?
I think for me, yeah, for sure.
I'm going to go...
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I feel like I didn't have the same love extreme reaction like you had. I did like it a lot. You know, it was definitely very good. I think there have been 1 or 2 episodes that have been superior, but it's still pretty strong. So I'll go 8. I'll give it an 8.
Right on.
I mean,
what did you give the first part?
I think I gave it a 7.
Okay. So this is the first time I think I've ever been higher than you.
Yeah.
On the episodes.
Yeah.
Usually you're a little bit higher.
I know.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's the episode quality. Maybe it's just me being in the mood to watch Ned's Declassified.
Who knows?
Not 100% sure, but I enjoyed myself. I thought I thought they were good.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, do you got any final notes or anything for the people?
Nope. Just keeping it on, carrying on along, doing it. You know, like I said earlier about the music, doing that. You know, cooking and stuff. I don't know. No one probably said. Yeah. No one probably commented and said, "Yeah, I want you guys to make a food podcast," but
maybe someday. But also make sure you guys check out the Show Me Something pod.
That's right.
We've got some good stuff coming out. Most recently, another anime episode with Trevor, which was a good one. It was a funny app.
I still got to go on.
But and we have our first guest coming up actually, coming up. So look out for that episode. And yeah, we still got to get Kirk on the pod. Hopefully that'll be very soon. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you for the next episode of the Ned's Declassified podcast.